let's talk fire. Fire is probably the single most important survival skill you can have. If you only know one survival skill, how to light a fire is the one you should know. But how can you get a fire going if you can't find any good natural tinder? Can't find any lichen. This is a old man's beard and some horsehair lichen. You can't find any dried cedar bark, which makes a great tinder. You can't find the king of tinder, birch bark. We can still get a fire going. It takes a bit of effort, and I'll show you how. The first thing we need to do is find some dry wood. Standing dead tree is going to be your best source, but all I brought was a Leatherman and my fire rod today, so I'm gonna have to find something a little smaller than a standing dead tree. Unfortunately, where I am, there are lots of dead branches. Let's find a good one. It's pretty dry where I am, so most of these branches would work. But if you were in a situation where it had just rained, you want to look for those branches that are horizontal. And that's why a standing dead tree is so good, because it's horizontal. Rain hits it, it just runs down the side. The outside might be wet, but the inside is going to be dry. And that's what we're going to use for our tinder. We want to break this stick in two, doing something called batoning. Now I'm using a Leatherman, which has this folding blade. If I lock the blade out and I baton with it, I run the risk of breaking that locking mechanism, which I've done before. So that's how I know that. So one trick you can do is unlock your blade, keep it in this 90-degree angle, and then we start batoning, and hopefully it will be less stress on the locking mechanism. Now I'm going to lock it and then give it a twist. And there you have it. The inside of this wood is going to be nice and dry even when the outside is wet. And this dry inner wood is what we're going to use for our tinder. But we need to take some shavings off of it. So to get some good shavings off the inside of this branch, we're going to use our saw. And we're not going to use the saw blade or for cutting. We're going to use the back of the saw. So the back of your multi-tool saw is going to be nice and flat. It's at a really good 90-degree angle. If you've ever used a card or cabinet scraper in carpentry, it works exactly the same way. You can get much finer shavings than you can with your knife. At least I can with the Leatherman. I find the Leatherman is sharpened at a bit too much of an angle. If it was a more narrow angle or smaller angle, it'd be a little better for taking shavings, and you can modify yours, of course, but the way it comes, it's a bit too wide of an angle to get really fine shavings, I find. So we're going to use the back of our saw blade on here to get some shavings. I'll show you. See, the back of the saw blade almost makes these really fine, fluffy wood shavings. Mine needs to be resharpened, looks like. So we got a nice small pile of shavings. All we need to do now is use our Leatherman to make some feathers. Nice thin curls. Curlier the better. Ooh, that one's a little big. That's okay. We're not going to get a very big fire going today. It's pretty dry, and I would prefer not to set everything on fire. No fire ban yet, but it's supposed to start very soon, so this is more than enough for this demonstration. Saw blade. I'm going to use the back of the saw blade as a striker for my ferro rod. It works really well. Okay, first step, take a few scrapings of our ferro rod, get a few of them in there. When a spark hits one of those, it's going to go up really nicely. One strike, all you need. Slowly pull your feathers onto the flames. Try not to burn yourself. Now we can start adding our sticks. And there you go. And that's how you make a fire when you can't find any good tinder and you have to make your own. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. If you have any other suggestions or tips for getting a fire going without any good tinder, please let me know in the comments. I always want to learn new things. I don't assume I know everything. No one can. So let me know in the comments if you have any better ideas or different ideas for getting a fire going when your tinder sucks. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Oh, one more thing. Always remember to bring enough water to put your fire out.